Creation is finished when you receive the download. You probably heard this before. Probably when we talk about, our dreams and desires, we usually say that, it is finished when you receive the desire. But it is also true for when you receive a lesson, a blessing, right? And many times you don't need to play out the whole experience in order for you to receive the understanding, the insight that you were supposed to have. But we sometimes are a little bit in these patterns of the belief of that we actually have to. So we play out the full experience, but it's actually not necessary. So today we're going to talk about that part where creation is finished when you receive the download. Okay, I will give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing tarot readings on an event, and it's not that organized, as if you're going to my webpage, buying a coaching package, putting in the chart, and then you pay it beforehand, you get the service, right? This is a little bit more, not so organized, and you usually send the money through your phone. So there was one woman that didn't have her phone with her in that conversation in the tarot reading, so to say, but she had it on the event. So she was like, I will switch you later during the evening. I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. And yeah, the evening went on and I totally forgot to follow up on it. And I did have her number, so it was fine, right? And I noticed with myself that I was having a conversation playing around in my mind where I needed to contact her tomorrow and asking her for like, hey, you know what? I haven't received the money yet. Could you send it over to me, right? And I was going through like how I would say it, and I felt like, oh, it feels so inconvenient. Why do I need to go after people? Like I should be paid for the service that I do. I should not be able to, like reach out to another person. Like I had all these kind of thoughts in my mind, okay? And while I'm having these thoughts, I notice and get like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a sign of me shrinking myself. I feel that this situation is uncomfortable and I'm preparing myself mentally for tomorrow, and also preparing myself that I even have to go through the experience, right, of needing to contact her, right? All of that, I'm putting it on me that I need to fix these things first and foremost. That is a pattern, right? And secondly, I have this feeling of shrinking myself. And this is like little Linnea, 2 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old. I love her for that. She really needed to shrink herself sometimes. She was clever little girl shrinking herself. So, she didn't get into any other type of fights or, all of that. Like the family drama, it was so great, like clever. Mwah, I love that part of myself that actually did that. But Linnea now, she's not in those situations that she don't need to do that. And she has other strategies to do that. She's a grown up now, right? I don't need to shrink myself any longer. Still, I found myself shrinking myself. So here's point 2 where it gets very interesting in this story. So then I get like this booster, I'm feeling like so empowered. I'm just like, yeah, I received the insight. I notice myself, I'm shrinking myself right now when I'm feeling discomfort and, all of that. So happy. Oh, I caught my own thoughts, that I was starting to mentally prepare myself, yada, yada, yada. Great, good. Then I know, okay, now I'm much more empowered. I know what to say if this happens and all of that, right? Still, I'm in this creation, I received the insight, the lesson. The lesson for me was that don't shrink yourself, Linnea. Don't shrink yourself. Take up space. That was my understanding, right? So I'm happy about that understanding, happy about that insight, but I decide to play out the experience anyways. Like, what? And when I noticed that, I was like, what? What? No, I don't need to. I'd received the download. It's finished. Creation is finished. I received the download. Creation is finished. So instead, since I was able to catch myself in that moment, I was like, okay, so now it's finished. So everything is done. I don't need to do anything else. The payment will come. I don't need to do anything else. Like everything will be okay. So actually what happened in the morning when I saw my payments, that woman actually paid me like 2 hours before I had that conversation in my mind. She already had paid me. Okay. Do you see how creation really was finished? Like way finished. before I noticed that. So what I want you to take out of this story is really that we don't need to play out the full experience if we don't want to. We don't need to sit and linger and be in that kind of do more struggle and now I need to contact this person tomorrow and go through all of that. When we receive a download of something, when we receive an insight, start to have the habit of saying, creation is finished. Great. It's finished. Great. Is there anything where I feed to this situation even more now? Or is there actually, what can I just stop now then? Can I just be now then? That is, it's a delicious skill, right? So this is your action for today. If this feels resonating for you, and you can form me a little bit how you want to, but I want you to create the same or a similar mindset that I have now about that creation is already finished when it comes to your experiences, when it comes to something that you are supposed to receive as a insight, you're supposed to receive that as a lesson and decide that that is finished and see how you can cut that, so to say, how you can be done with that as soon as possible. How you can just like, okay, I'm done. It's done now. It's done. I don't need to do anything else here. I don't need to linger here anything more. I don't need to, suffer more due to that. This is something that like all different type of thought leaders, spiritual leaders talk about over and over again about our suffering, how we actually been living in our suffering, and it has been serving us for a very long time when we were like way back. And so now we are shifting into another kind of state of consciousness. And due to that, we also need to change the perspectives. We need to make sure that, when we are creating our dream lives, when we are creating the dream self, when we are creating a phase in our life or a part of ourselves where we feel very aligned, very resonating with, it's important for us that we don't bring these kind of habits of just making it harder for ourselves or make it more effort or pressuring ourselves. That can also be sometimes like we're pressuring ourselves in some certain way, right? Or controlling the situation. Here was an example where we're controlling the situation. We can actually let go of that. And the more that we can do that, the easier it will be for us to really create our dream life. So I have that pointed out. I do also talk a lot about the struggle mindset and how we can change into the mindset of vibes instead, or the, not even mindset, it's the energy, it's the perspective, it's the full shift of being in a vibe instead. And you have all of that in my course, The Fulfilled You. You can go check it out in the description. And yeah, hope this was helpful. Keep on listening to you within Talks. Bye.